Hi, we are passing through Corona days, and in these Corona days, it is important to rethink about what it means to be human. Of course, the main question for all of us is to find answers for these questions, what it means to be human. Especially in psychology, humanistic psychologists they ask this question. They constantly ask what it means to be human. And in order to answer this question, they develop a theory of humanistic psychology. Humanistic psychology is a critical approach to mainstream psychology, and also it is a new way of or a human way of looking psychology. Humanistic psychology, first of all, it is a critical psychology. Humanistic psychology critically evaluates psychoanalysis and behavioristic approaches, and at the same time, they try to find answers about how can they humanize psychology. I think humanization of psychology is still important, especially in these days. The ideas of humanistic psychology are becoming more important. Uh, Humanistic psychology, first of all, think that human being cannot be reduced to anything. Human being cannot be reduced to stimulus response, cannot be reduced to observable behavior or unconscious. Human being is a being which can't be reduced to anything. Human being is human being. Nothing more, nothing less. On the other hand, humanistic approach is quite open approach about reality. Humanistic approach doesn't impose a particular understanding of humanity, of reality. It argues that every individual they must find their own understanding of reality in their own way. So, uh, humanistic psychology doesn't claim uh, to have monopoly on reality. So this is very important. Not claiming or not monopolizing reality is something important. Let people discover, explore reality in their own way. So, individualistic and pluralistic understanding of reality is very important from humanist perspective. And humanistic psychology believes that psychology or other social sciences, they must be human sciences. So, be, human science requires a subjectivism because what we are talking about is human. Human being is a subjectivist being, subjective being. We can't objectify human being the way physics objectify the matter. So humanistic psychology, it is also an invitation. Humanistic psychology invite us to face our problems with our rational and moral ability. So, human individual, he or she must solve their problem. They must face their challenges. So, I think this is very important point from humanist perspective. The source of human individual, human being can solve their problems, challenges, and their difficulties. There is no higher authority over human being. So, humanist psychology clearly reject any authority, any supernatural authority, any authority above human being. So, solution of our problems lies in ourselves, not in outside. So no power from outside will come and solve our problems. So it is up to us. We have to find solutions for our problems. Uh, of course, there are important humanistic psychologists like Maslow, like Rogers, like May, and so on. think this humanistic psychology, we can get very important message from them. Especially this message is important in nowadays. Especially this message is important after the experience of this corona pandemic. What is this message? All institutions, all social groups, all educational institutions, all organization, all government, briefly, everything exists just in order to help individual to actualize their humanness. So the main task in front of us is to actualize our humanness. As much as we actualize our humanness, human society will grow and will become healthy. So at the end of, if we as a human being, if we achieve, if in individual and social level, if we achieve to grow as a human, that means that we are going to achieve one world and one humanity. So the trouble today we are facing, we fail to achieve this message of humanist psychologists. Our world today is not one world, and our humanity is not one humanity. But corona pandemic clearly shows that there is only one way in front of humanity, achieving one world, achieving one humanity. So we are a part of the world, and we are a part of human species, humanity. That is something we need to understand. Being a part of the world and one humanity, must determine our present as well as our future. Uh, so, how can we achieve the goal of one humanity and one world? It depends on individual. So, humanist approach consider human individual as a being who is unique. Every individual is unique. And every individual is truth seeker. This is a very important point. Individual is not someone who already has the truth. Who is someone who is after the truth, who is searching the truth. Individual is the seeker of the truth. And human individual is a integrated being. As an integrated being, we have autonomy, but our autonomy does not mean uh, irresponsibility. The idea of autonomy and responsibility goes side by side in humanistic approach. Humanistic approach focused on human capacities, potentialities, and abilities. Humanistic approach always say you have enough resources, you have a very rich capacity, ability. Why don't you use it? Dare to courage to use, to exploit your ability, your capacity, and potentialities. So, human individual is a creative beings. And of course, human individual is not alone. He or she is with other people. Humanistic psychology consider human individual as a social being. So this is very important. Humanistic psychology never separate human individuality and human sociality from each other. Individual and social aspect of our being must exist together. So, humanistic psychology doesn't promote a pessimism the way psychoanalysis analysis promote, or humanistic psychology doesn't promote determinism the way behaviorism promote. So it it focused on the growth, on the self-awareness, actualization, autonomy, responsibilities, and creativities. So these are the values and the principles of humanistic approach. Uh, uh, Humanistic approach doesn't limit human individual, particularly with just one particular site. it tries to be open approach as much as it is possible. A humanistic approach doesn't consider human being as someone who is always in the state of competition with other people or with nature. No, it is not competition, but it is becoming self actualization methods for humanistic perspective. So, from humanistic point of view, you have to you must always seek to be more mature. Maturity, growth is important. This does not mean that you are always losing your identity. No, through constant maturity and growth, you are always exploring, constructing, renewing your identity. Your identity is in the process of renewal. So these are important idea we are learning from critical humanist approach. Humanism, of course, humanist psychology, the origin of humanist psychology is humanist philosophy. Humanist philosophy uh, is criticizing the alienated and corrupted state of humanity. And today, our human condition, it is a condition of corruption and alienation. We are alienated to other people, to society. We are alienated to nature. We are alienated to our spirituality and morality. As a result of our corruption and alienation in our relation with nature, with society, with the world, we are facing big crises such as corona pandemic. So I think the challenge or the criticism of humanist philosophy about human condition, which is alienation and corruption, is still valid. In order to renew our conditions, human condition, in order to overcome this terrible situation, we have to educate ourselves to learn. So humanist psychology said that all human beings must have freedom to learn. This is a very important point. We have to learn. Now we are facing a big crisis, corona pandemic. We have to learn from this experience. We have to learn how can we think and live scientifically, rationally. And our learning must be multidimensional. Free learning, creative learning is requirement for all of us. But if we don't learn from our experiences as if nothing happened, so that means that we can't achieve growth and maturity in our life. So, creative, constant learning freely and humanly and critically is the message we are getting from humanistic psychology. So, humanistic psychology focused on human being as a whole being, as a whole being, human individual is the source of all values. So we have to constantly recreate our values in order to fully become truly human beings. And uh, we have to, the concept of health, healthy individual. Humanistic psychology focused on the concept of health. If we want to be healthy individuals, we must protect the health of nature, the health of society. Human individual can't protect his or her own health if nature or society is not healthy. Therefore, humanistic psychology particularly draws our attention to the ecology, the importance of nature, the importance of ecology. I mean, humanist philosophy and psychology tell us that we are not only have links with other people, we are also having links with other creatures, with nature, and with the planet. So the challenge before us, we have to explore our links and roots and relations with humanity, with nature, and with other creatures in order to actualize our being as human. Thank you.